Good morning to everyone. My name is Sri Tejaswini. Today my topic is about CSS box model from front-end development. So, front-end development CSS box model. In CSS, the term box model is used when talking about design and layout. The CSS box model is essentially a box that wraps around every HTML element. It consists of margin, border, padding, content, properties. The image below illustrates the box model. So the content is the matter or images or the some text which will be displaying as the content, and the padding space for the space for the outline in the content. And border is, right, border we can draw some margins or colors, and margin is also another it is a part of box model. So what is content? The content of box where text and images appear. Content consists of images and text. Padding clears an area around the content. The padding is transparent. Padding, the space between some words or space between the web page, like first letter to the from starting of the page. So this is a padding border, a border that goes around the padding and content. Border is the one that goes around that which is around the body, content and the padding. And margin clears all the area outside the border. The margin is transparent. So the board outside the border is, if there is anything, it will be cleared by the margin, and the margin is transparent. So these are the four. First, let us see the padding. The CSS padding properties are used to generate space around an element's content inside of any defined borders. So CSS, in CSS, by taking the border and the first word of the content, the gap between will be defined by the padding. CSS has properties for specified in the padding for each side of an element. For each side, there are some specifying padding properties like padding top, padding right, padding left, padding bottom. So these are the four properties for the padding. All the padding properties can have the following values like length, percentile, inherit. Like length is specifying the padding, like in pixels or pt or centimeters or etc meters, like. And percentage specifies a padding in percentage of the width of the containing element. So width by specifying to 50 percentile or 20 percentile, and so inherit specifies that the padding should be inherited from the parent element. So these are the padding properties for the values. And next, the padding property is a shorthand property for the following individual padding properties. So padding top, padding right, padding bottom, padding left. These are the four properties, right? So for any padding top, bottom, right, if we mention some values for those, like if padding property has four values, then these four values will be taken for padding top, bottom, left, right. Like 25, 50, 75, 100, right? 25 pixel is for top padding, and 50 pixel is for right padding, and 75 pixel is for left bottom padding, and 100 pixel is for left padding. So those will be taken in that order. And if there are only three values, then the top padding will be 25, and the right and left padding will be 50 pixel, and 75 pixel will be the bottom padding. There are only two values, then top and bottom will have 25 pixels, and right and left will have 50 pixels. If there is only single value 25 pixels, then all the four sides, top, bottom, left and right, all the four sides will have the same padding 25 pixels. So let us see a simple program. So while writing the HTML program, we will write doc type HTML, and HTML tag, next head, and next style tag. In the style tag, by using div, we'll write the border 1 pixel, some 1 pixel black, solid black. So that border will be of black color of 1 pixel length. And background color is light blue, and padding top is 50 padding top. So padding top will be 50, right 30, and bottom 50, and left 80, 80 pixels. And style tag is closed, head tag is closed. Next, body is open, and some content will be written there like h2 and div. As div, the div element that has a top padding 50, and that contains the properties which we return in the style tag. So h2 will be of header 1. It does not contain any padding or border or color, but only a div here views in this will be containing these styles. So now let us see the CSS border style. CSS border style specifies what kind of border to display. What kind of border? We know that in borders we have different kinds, right? Like dotted, slashed, double, solid, dashed, inset, outset, none, hidden, etc. Like dotted means it defines just dotted border. Dashed, it just uses a small dashes. Solid, it gives a dark black border. Double defines double border, two lines borders. Groove defines 3D groove border. The effect depends on the border color value. Next, ridge defines 3D ridge border, and inset 3D inset depends on what. The inset is the border only which can be seen inside, and outset is the outside border will be seen. None, there is no border. Hidden defines a hidden border. So these are the border styles. Let us see them. Border has some properties like width, color, individual sides, borders, etc. Rounded borders, etc. So let us see about border width. So border width specifies the width of the four sides of borders. Like values can be of thick, thin, or medium. Or it can be specified by width as the values pixels, px, pt, centimeters, meters, etc. And the border color is a property of CSS box model to specify the color of the border. And the color can be set by name, hex, RGB. Name just like border color red, or border color entire values can be of hex like hash ff 0000, and RGB colors like RGB of 2500, like that. So next, individual slides. These can be of border, top style border, bottom style border, left style, right style, like that. It can be combination of all the types of borders like dotted, dashed, or inset, offset, etc. So CSS rounded borders. CSS rounded borders means normally borders will be of just rectangle, right? But to get the edges to be some rounded, like it, to get a round border, we use the property called border radius. So depending on the radius, the border line at the edge will be as curved as you mentioned. So here I mentioned as 5 pixels. Next, CSS margins. CSS margin properties are used to create space around elements outside of any defined borders. Margins, individual sides can be margin top, bottom, margin left, margin right. And all margin properties have the following values like auto length percentage. So auto, it just by default the browser which will be taken will be taken. And the length, it will be specified in pixels, pt, centimeters, etc. And percentage specifies the margin percentage like 10%, 5%, etc. Next, if margin properties has four values similar to the padding, margin also has four, or can be given four properties like margin 25 pixels, 50, 75, and 100 pixels. If there are four values, it will be taken by the four. If there are only three values, then the top margin will be the first one, and the right and left margin will be the second one, and the bottom margin will be the third one. There are only two, then top and bottom margin will be the first one, and right and left will be the second one. If there are only one, then all the four sides of margins will be taken the single value. So here I have taken the simple program like by taking the margin of four values, so that the margin will be of 25 pixels, 50 pixels, 75 pixels, and 100 pixels on the four sides of the content. This is about the CSS margins, and this is about the CSS box model. We discussed. So we discussed here. So we discussed here is the box model, how it will be, and the properties of box model, and properties of padding and border style, and properties of borders, and margins, CSS margins. Thank you.